We are helping our community and all communities by recycling junk automobiles in our melting process instead of bringing in virgin iron. 6,000 cars a month is what we recycle here.
Jan Pribble, foundry line supervisor. This is who we are and what we do at General Motors.
We make quality castings, car parts, GM parts. We can remelt scrap pieces and still get the quality that we're after. Quality to me is what we're here for. It's important that we run quality castings here. It's a must. If you're really interested in staying here, you cannot do enough for the place. That's the way I feel. The people have so much pride. General Motors has been good to them too.
General Motors, people building transportation to serve people.
Good evening and welcome to Part 5 of Open House. My name is Carl Russell, your host this evening, and tonight we'll be talking about working with what you've got. We want to discuss some ways that our viewers can improve their homes without making sizable or large investments. My first guest this evening is Miss Jan Landskroner, an interior decorator. Welcome, Janet. And Janet owns her own company called Off the Wall Decorating in Huntington. And before we get into any discussion, Janet, we have a nice film that you've been kind enough to provide for us, and we'd like to show that first and then come back and we'll talk about it.
Okay.
All righty? So we'll be right back after this. Thank you.
I really enjoy what I do. It's a lot of fun. Most people are not in a position to just start with a new room, new carpet, new furniture. It's things that they've had that they would like to work with. Some pieces might be very sentimental to them, and we try to work that in the room. It's rare when we can walk into a room and do it from scratch. One of the things we'll do, if we can, is bring the furniture out more into the middle of the room and give it a floating effect, creating a warmer atmosphere, making a conversation area so people are closer together in conversation. And it makes a better flowing pattern for conversation as well as just for the warmth of a room. When I walk into most homes, I'll find very cluttered mantels. People seem to make that the focal point in their room, and they'll display pictures, trophies, all kinds of sentimental type values that we all enjoy. We all enjoy having them around, but they're better displayed than on the mantle. The first thing I'll do is clean the mantle off. We'll totally just take everything off of the mantle. Of course, we can't do anything with the board. It's normally mortared there. And we'll then put what the homeowner would enjoy. We'll use a mirror. We'll use a painting that they might have that they've enjoyed, or we'll use a metal sculpture, which, by the way, would be signed and dated. It wouldn't just be a piece of metal. Often when I go into homes, as we are all guilty, people will try to use the prior window treatment that they had in the old home. Sometimes you can get by with that, but most times it really doesn't fit. Or another thing that will happen is we'll kind of make do. I like to see people use proper window treatment with their furniture. That could be a variety of things. It could be just nicely tied back drapes. It could be a pleated shade on their window with a cornice board treatment, depending on the feel I get from the room, whether that be traditional, contemporary, or modern. Or we can use verticals, which today really are broad spread. There's over 200 and some kinds. The thing that I like about the verticals is it totally clears the window and lets you enjoy the outside during the daytime, and yet covers the windows in the evening for total privacy, which if we use a tie-back drape, we've got to substitute with some other sort of treatment under that drape to give you privacy in the evenings. Often we'll go into homes and they will have sentimental pieces that they don't think that we can work in with their room. I went into one home and a lady had this little old yellow table. It had 7 coats of yellow lacquer paint on it. And it had come out of her grandmother's chicken coop. That's exactly where she found it. But starting out new, they didn't have a lot of money, and her grandmother said, take the table. We were able to strip that table down and totally have it refinished, which we found out later was a very rare antique with claw feet on it, a lion's head mouth, and the table was solid mahogany dating back into the early 1900s. In another instance, we were working with an old meat block. It was full of mold. It had literally been retrieved out of an old grocery store where they had cut meat on this every day. It was full of lard and even had a large groove where the meat cutter had cut every day. And we decided that that would really make a nice end table in a family room and work it into a piece. It was also a sentimental piece of a family. And so we had an engineer cut the top off, which took quite a deal to do because they had to just edge through it to keep it a square top. And then we were able to use a particular type treatment that drew the lard out, and then we covered it fully with polyurethane, and now it has become a very beautiful corner end table in a family room. Everyone loves to come home and laugh about how they used to look and see how they were when they were little. So tons of money does not have to be tied up in walls for artwork. It's nice to have a nice piece, but you certainly don't have to have a nice piece on every wall. You can work with what you've got, and we can create little galleries here and there on your walls. Perhaps one wall is going to be just a trip memory, that perhaps you went out of the country and you collected 3 items from, say, 3 different countries. If it's workable, we can do that in a small gallery, and you can enjoy seeing your memories every day in your home. Some of the things I'll encounter is not at all a bad client. It's a husband who will come home that night and can't find his easy chair that was facing his television in exactly the spot that he left it that morning, and the decorator's been there. And he's grumbling, but I tell these wives, you hang in there, stand up to those guys, and tell them for 2 weeks you're gonna live with this room. And they come back in the store all smiles, with him normally, and they say, we love it.
Thank you very much, Janet. That was most informative. I have a few more questions for you. Maybe you can help our viewers. At what point would I come to an interior decorator and say, I think I need your help? I mean, do I allow myself to go into the house and try to do it myself at first? Because I think everyone thinks that they know what couch they like or what easy chair, this chair feels comfortable, so I'm taking this one home, regardless of whether it matches with anything else in the house or not. So at what point do I find an interior decorator and say, I think I need some help?
I think the point comes when you find the house that you've selected to live in. Walk through the house. Some people have to use already what they are coming with, and I think it's important in the new home, because you've just purchased it, to try to make it flow, everything work together in the house, and pull it together with what you've got, and then come to me and say, now what do I need to do? I need some accessories. Maybe I am willing to give this chair up in time or this couch up in time, and go ahead and come to a decorator so that
she can pull it together and do the finishing touches for you. It's not that just because you've purchased a new home for yourself that you have to purchase all new furniture. As the tape pointed out, we work with a lot of things that people have and just incorporate them in the home.
Okay.
So I would say the important thing would be hire the decorator to help you pull together what you have.
So really, you're going to be part of the team also then. If I've found my new house, I probably want to call on the decorator and have them take a look at where I live now, some of the things that I have, and then show you the new house, and then you'll come up with some ideas as to how to decorate my new house. Another question that I had was the cost of this. Now, I remember when we decorated our house, the interior decorator was able to defray some of their cost by getting some of the items discounted. The Venetian blinds or the verticals and the couches and the carpets and this kind of thing. Is this pretty much standard in the industry?
Yes, it is. Being interior decorators, we do have resources that, if I can use the word, chains don't have. We have different wallpaper books because we are decorators. We have different resources because we are decorators, and we are able to pass the savings right on to our clients, as well as we're able to direct you in different areas to give you cost savings as well.
So really, overall, the consumer may not be paying all that much more to add the services of an interior decorator.
No,
which
really.
could be a wonderful addition in making the house really come together as a nice living place.
No, really they're not. It's very nice to go ahead and just make the plunge, hire a decorator. It's not that expensive to go on and make everything flow and come together for you. You've put an initial investment in the house. As I said in the tape, let's not make a mistake in finishing it.
Now, you've brought along some slides, some before and after pictures, and what I'd like to do is take a look at these and see what the property looked like beforehand and what you were able to do to enhance it afterwards. Here's a picture of a living room, obviously.
This was a living room that I was called in on to do, and when I got there, the client wanted me to redo the living room, and this is the after shot showing the windows, the accessories on the wall, the furniture. All of this came from the shop that I work with. We were able to do a lot of cost savings for them. This is another picture of the windows. You can see that they were drapes that she was trying to work with, but it really just didn't suit the room. So we did the custom balloon shades, traditional Chippendale wing chairs in front of them, and all of the fabric is matching and coordinating down to the table cover as the pillows. And we did this throughout the room. There's custom floral arrangements in it. There's custom
We're
work
back to
all
the same
over.
slide, I think. Yeah, we came back to the same.
This is just a different angle of the same windows that we took, showing again now an overall picture of the room. You can see the custom floral piece there. You can see the lamps also that were custom done. The room's all done in mauves, grays, blues. Very beautiful room that we were not really able to enjoy the true colors. But it's a lovely room. The couple were very happy to have us come in and let us take the slides for the program.
Very nice, very nice. I think it really shows what can be done. And I know myself, I've got a terrible eye, and I rely on other people and other people's services to do this. I think one of the problems is, though, as I said earlier, most people are afraid of the expense of this. They think, wow, interior decorator, it's going to cost a lot of money to do this kind of thing. And I think one of the things that you're starting to, the message I'm getting here is, it's not that much more expensive if you did it yourself, but the added service of having somebody with a trained eye is that much better. Let me ask you, how do we find the right interior decorator? How do I know who to go to?
Well, probably follow your instincts. I think that it's very important that you and your decorator have a great rapport. You have to be able to get along with her and like her, because we're going to work together for a long time, and by that meaning up to 3 to a 6 month period if we're doing a room.
Is that right?
As we've done with the fantasy of TV, you don't just create a room that quickly. It takes time to order things when they're being custom done, get them in the room, and get them set up properly. So we're talking about a 3 to 6 month span, and what you need to do is say, do we have a rapport? Can I work with this woman? 6 tips that I would like to leave with is just do your homework, keep a scrapbook, be realistic about money, think long-term, follow your instincts in hiring a decorator, and give us credit for knowing what we do.
Very good. Janet, I thank you very much for spending a couple of minutes with us and showing us how we can redecorate our home or decorate our new home in a nice fashion and in ways that will not hurt our pocketbook too severely. Thank you very much. We'll be back with a gentleman that's a landscaper, and we'll show you what we can do now to the exterior of the home. We'll be right back after this.
Imperial Rug Company presents A Day in the Life of a Carpet. Oops. Uh-oh. Call our hotline. Help is only 7 digits away. The Imperial Rug Company, an uncommon carpet company.
ProTech can make you see your everyday surroundings in a new light. Expand your family room, brighten your den, enclose a patio, or create a room with a poolside view. There's a sun system to suit any area of your home. Sun systems take half the time to build and are less costly than conventional construction. They're available in 37 models and can be easily customized to suit your taste. Sun systems available at ProTech Products. Call for more information.
Hi, and welcome back. My next guest is Dennis Leferrier, and he is a landscape architect from Milford, owns his own company called Sitescapes in Milford, and we'd like to now talk about the exterior of the home. With Janet, we spoke about the interior of the home, and now what do we do on the outside of the house to enhance not only the beauty cosmetically, but also the value of this house? Dennis, welcome to our show.
Thank you.
Nice to have you here.
Good to be here.
And I see you've brought along some nice sketches for us, and maybe we can get right into this, and you can tell us exactly what we've got here.
Very good. Okay, what I'd like to do this evening is to go through 2 typical examples on how to approach a landscape problem that most people have, not only when they're acquiring a new home, but also when they're taking over the problems of acquiring an older home. These first sketches illustrate the latter. The typical local home on a half-acre or 1-acre plot is often one which has come through several generations of use, driveways being added as an additional paving because of the second car having to be acquired. But when you buy an older home, you'll often inherit the problems of large shrubs completely surrounding the foundation of the house, which over the years have overgrown, completely hiding the house, and the scale of the house is lost. So what is often the approach is to take a new approach and look at what the potential of the yard is. This is an illustration of the same yard with a new landscape plan developed to really develop an interesting space in front of the house, really focus in on the front door, how to make it more attractive, take away the typical lining up of the shrubs around the foundation, bringing into perspective the house as an entity within the lot. Introducing a backyard which develops not only areas for privacy, but also for the gardener in the family, an area where those types of activities can be developed, areas which can provide some seasonal color. Often the homes, because of the planting material over the years becoming overgrown, there's lots of green areas, lawns, and the edges of the yards are becoming lost. So to develop an aura of, this is my backyard, I want to develop a space which is private and separate from my neighbors on either side of me. I want to have some privacy so I can use my outdoor terrace or backyard where the children can have a sense of privacy. If I have some animals, if I wish to partly enclose the backyard to keep them enclosed and then within there, you introduce gates and fences, and essentially what you wind up with is a program which functions for the use of the new family moving into the home.
Dennis, let me ask you. Now, we buy this new home or we buy the existing home, and I look like the top picture now. I've got all the overgrown plants and everything, and we call you in. The architect will draw the plan for me, is that right?
That's right.
Okay. Is the architect also the fellow that's going to come and do all my plantings, or is this something now I've got to go down to the local farm market and I've got to buy all my own azaleas and rhododendrons and everything and plant them myself?
Well, typically the landscape architect will be brought in to evaluate what the potential is, of what's there in the yard that can be reused and salvaged, and then to put into perspective what is needed to implement and add to what is there and come up with a plan. So he would not only evaluate the present conditions, but would develop the actual plans, make a list which would suggest the types of plant materials which should be incorporated for the sun conditions, the soil types that are there, and also to indicate the potentials that are there in the yard, indicate the sizes and the quantities that are needed, and then from that point, these drawings are then given to local landscape contractors who will actually take this list, develop a cost for the homeowner, break it down, and itemize the costs on each of the different plants to be used, and also put in the labor factor so the homeowner can have a good idea in dollars and cents of what this will cost to implement the plan.
Okay.
If dollars are not available to do the entire plan in one phase, a project is often phased to work with the budget that is